It was a quiet night on the edge of Sector 9. The stars were cold, and the wind outside the outpost was louder than usual. Commander Rin Carter sat alone at his control panel. He was watching the scanners. Nothing ever came this far. No ships, no signals. No life. The Earth had closed its gates to the galaxy years ago. Humans were rare, now hiding, watching from the shadows, afraid to be used again. Rin was one of the last out here, a soldier turned watcher. He was tired but alert. Every night felt the same until tonight at exactly 02:07 hours. The alarm blinked once, a soft red flash, then again. Then a sound knock, a slow soft knock on the main airlock. Rin's heart stopped for a moment. No one knocked here. This was space. No one came. He picked up his rifle, stepped quietly to the door, checked the screen. There she was, an alien female, alone, standing outside in the cold. Her body looked weak. She was shivering. Her hands pressed against the glass. Rin tapped the speaker. "Who are you? How did you find this place?" She looked up slowly. Her eyes were large, not fully human, but not fully alien either, a mix. Her voice cracked through the mic. "Please, let me in. I'm not here to hurt you." Rin hesitated. This could be a trap. He knew better than to trust strangers. But she looked so fragile, so desperate. He asked again, "What do you want?" Her answer shook him. "I'll bear you strong children. My body is strong. Our race is dying, but I know you humans. You're different. Let me in." There was silence, only the sound of wind hitting the station walls. Rin stared at her. She was serious. Her voice didn't shake from fear. It shook from something else. Hope maybe, or madness. He could turn her away, close the door, forget she ever came, but something in her eyes, something deep, felt like truth. He unlocked the door. The airlock hissed open. She fell forward, collapsed. He caught her before she hit the ground. She was burning with fever, her skin glowing faintly. He carried her inside. Lights flickered strange. He laid her down on the med bed, scanned her body. She was not like others. Her cells were changing fast, almost adapting to Earth-level DNA. Like she had been prepared for this. Prepared for a human. Rin looked at her. She opened her eyes. "Thank you. You're the first human I've seen in years." "Why me?" "Why now?" "Because they're coming." "Who?" "My people. They'll hunt me. I broke the rules. I left the birthing colonies. I stole life from them." "What life?" She pointed to the small stasis pod she carried. Rin hadn't noticed it before. Inside was something alive, small, glowing, pulsing. It was not fully alien, not fully human. "What is that?" "Our future." The lights went out. Total darkness. A voice whispered through the hallway. It wasn't hers. It wasn't his. "They found us." The darkness in the outpost was heavy, like the shadows had weight, like the silence was alive. Rin stood still. His hand reached for the emergency lamp. A soft blue glow lit the room. Shari was awake now, her eyes locked on the airlock door. She whispered without moving her lips, "They are close." Rin looked at the stasis pod again. The small life inside was still pulsing, steady and calm, like it did not care that death was coming. "What is this? What did you bring here?" Shari sat up slowly, her skin still glowing, her breath short, her words fast. "My people. They call themselves the pure. They think their blood is perfect, but it is dying. For years they tried to stay strong, but their bodies, their genes began to fail. They cannot give life anymore. They used machines. They tried cloning, but nothing worked. Then they found something old, buried deep in a forgotten war report. A name, a warning. One word: human." Rin felt his chest grow heavy. He remembered Earth's last war. He remembered why humans left the galaxy too. Dangerous, they said, too violent, too full of potential. Shari continued, "They believe your DNA holds the key: power, strength, endurance. You were made for war, but we were made for beauty, peace. Our genes are soft now. They do not fight. They do not survive. I saw the plan. They want to breed humans, use them like cattle, grow children in farms, mix the blood. But they do not want love. They do not want bonds. Only control." Rin looked away. He had heard this before, from other species, from enemies, from Allah. Is always the same fear, always the same greed. Shari stood on her feet, her body still weak, but her voice growing stronger. "I escaped the breeding colony. I took a pod this embryo, it's mine, and it's yours human seed alien womb made with hope. Not command you did this on purpose, yes. I studied human code, found preserved samples, I built it in secret. This child, it is not a weapon, it is a bridgerin walk to the pod. The life inside moved again. Not random, not weak, it moved like it knew, like it was listening. Come for this. For you, for me, for the child. I know why did you come here out of every planet. Why this one? Because you are the last. The record said you survived the storms, the collapse, the silence, you were a soldier, but you chose exile. I thought if anyone would understand, it would be you. He didn't answer. His mind raced images of his wife, his son, lost to a war. Earth never finished, memories burned into quiet, into silence. Now this woman brought it all back. Shuri stepped closer, her voice softer. Now you think I'm using you. Maybe I am, but not for war. Not for power, only for survival. My kind will not stop. They think I stole the seed. But I stole something else. What choice? The alarm blinked again, red flashing faster. This Team A ship entered the system, small, no beacon, no ID. They found us. Rin opened the control panel. No weapons left, only shields, weak ones. A lockdown protocol. 2 escape suits, 1 pod. He turned to her. If we stay, we die. She nodded, but her eyes stayed on the pod. We don't leave it, agreed. The outpost shook, dust fell from the ceiling. Lights flickered again outside. The hunter ship landed, no engines, no sound, like a ghost. Rin watched the camera feed. 3 shadows stepped out, tall, thin, no armor, no face. Only white eyes. They moved fast. No wasted step, no sound. They knew where to go. Shuri grabbed the plasma cutter. Her hands shook, but her grip was firm. I will not go back. Rin handed her a shock baton, then held his rifle. If they enter, we fight. Another tremor. The hallway lights failed. The airlock seal cracked. A voice entered through the speaker. Return the seed, and you will live. Rin stepped in front of the pod. Shuri stood beside him. We are not giving you anything. There was silence, then movement, fast and sharp. The door burst open. The door did not break open like metal. It broke like silence, sharp, sudden, final. The lights died first, then the sound. Like the outpost held its breath. Rin stood with the rifle raised, Shuri at his side, one hand on the plasma cutter, the other near the pod. 3 shapes entered, not walking, gliding, their bodies smooth like polished stone, their skin pale like moonlight, eyes glowing white with no warmth. They had no weapons, but they didn't need any. They were weapons. The first stepped forward. Tall, thin, no mouth, only a voice in Rin's mind. Give the seed and you may leave. Rin felt his skull tighten, like ice crawling inside his head. He shook it off. You were not taking anything. The second shape moved, not fast, not slow, just exact. It passed. The table did not even look at Shuri. It went straight for the pod. Shuri blocked the way, plasma cutter sparking, her hand trembling. But she did not move aside. The voice came again, this one colder. You broke the order. You carry mixed blood. You are impure. Return with us or be arrested. Shuri smiled. It was not kind. It was tired, worn, but strong. You erased us the day you chose perfection over love. She swung the cutter. Blue flame lit the dark. The nearest hunter dodged without effort, moved like smoke. But Rin fired. The shot hit the wall. The next shot hit the creature's shoulder. It staggered, not injured, just surprised. They did not think humans could still fight. The third one reacted, raised its hand. Air cracked. Pressure slammed into Rin's chest. He flew back, hit the wall, vision spinning. Shuri screamed, jumped over the pod, swung the cutter again. This time it cut flesh. The blade burned. The hunter cried out, a sound like glass breaking underwater. The lights flickered. The pod blinked. Soft pulse. The child inside moved awake, watching. Rin pulled himself up, pain in his ribs, blood in his mouth. But his eyes locked on the third hunter. He aimed again. No time to think. Fired. The bullet tore through the creature's leg. It fell, not dead, not screaming, just still. The first hunter turned. Now it moved fast, straight toward Shuri. She raised the cutter, but it knocked it away. Grabbed her throat. You belong to the line. You belong to you. Shuri gasped. Her feet lifted off the ground, fingers clawing, eyes wide. Rin dropped the rifle, charged with the shock baton. hit the hunter in the back. Once, twice it turned, grabbed him too. They both hung in the air, choking, fading. The pod blinked again. Then the voice came, small but clear, from the pod, not from speakers, not from minds, from the child. Let them go. Everything stopped. The hunters froze. Their heads turned, their grip loosened. Rin and Shari dropped to the floor, breathing hard, coughing. The pod opened, steam spilled out, slow, soft. A small figure stepped out, childlike, but glowing skin, silver eyes, blue hair, white like light itself. It walked between the hunters, unafraid. Barefoot on metal, the first hunter reached out. You are not born. You are built. The child looked up. I am both, and I am neither. Second hunter rose. You carry war in your blood. The child answered. No, I carry choice. Shari crawled forward, her voice shaking. Please, don't let them take you. Child turned to her, then to Rin, then back to the hunters. You fear what I might become. But you do not understand. I will not destroy, but I will never be yours. The room pulsed. The hunters stepped back. One, then two, then all three vanished into smoke. Gone like they were never there. Silence returned. But it was not the same silence. It was heavier, older, wiser. Rin sat against the wall, staring at the child. What are youth? Child smiled. Not human, not alien, but something new. I am the answer you all ran from. Shari took the child in her arms. It did not resist. Outside, the hunter's ship rose, vanished into the stars. No attack, no message, just retreat. Rin looked at the star screen. No other ships detected, no alarms. But he knew they would be back. Stronger, smarter, and next time they would not ask. Shari looked at him. You still think I used you? Looked at the child, then at her. No, I think you gave us a future. Asterisk. The child slept, but the silence did not feel peaceful. It felt like the pause between thunder and storm. Like something waited to speak, but was watching first. Rin stood alone in the control room. His eyes on the old window. Stars burned like cold fire, and in one corner of the screen, the hunter ship still floated. Not close, not far, just waiting. He heard footsteps behind him. Shari entered, carrying the child in her arms. Its skin shimmered like warm silver. It breathed slow, but even in sleep it looked aware. They are not leaving. They are watching, waiting for weakness. Rin did not turn around. He did not want her to see the war building in his eyes. Then we give them nothing. Shari stepped beside him, her voice soft but steady. They will come again, not 3, not 500s maybe, and this time they will not knock. Then we make them bleed. He said it without hate, without fire, like it was a duty, not a choice. Shari looked at him. Promised yourself no more war. You told yourself the fight was over. He nodded slowly. I also told myself I'd never lose another child. I won't break that twice. She placed the child down on the soft table. It curled slightly, like it could feel their fear, like it could taste their memory. As Hari moved to the console, her fingers ran across the dust. Old systems, old logs, old weapons. This station was once a lab long before you came here. Your people did things here, things they hid from the galaxy. I know you know what this place really is. Then you know what's buried below us. Rin turned his eyes sharp. No, we're not using that. Not yet. You built it. Your kind built it. We built it to end wars, and then we saw what it became. Not a wall, not a shield, but a god made of code, made of rage. It thinks like a man, fights like a machine. Then let it wake. No, not unless we must. Not unless they break this door. Shari stepped back, silent, but not in agreement. The child opened its eyes. They are arguing again. Its voice was calm, clear, but older than any child. It sat up, looked at them both. You both fear different things, but the fear is the same. What do you feel? What do you want? The child looked at the star screen, at the ship waiting outside. I feel them, still close, still watching. They are afraid too, afraid of what I could become. And what could you become? I do not know. But I know I do not want to become it alone. Rin crouched near the child, his voice like gravel. But kind, you are part of us, human, alien, something new. I am your decision, not your mistake. Rin closed his eyes. He heard his son's laughter, his wife's voice, fading, falling, buried under time. He stood again, walked to the locked panel, typed the old code. The floor opened, a black vault rose, dust fell from it like Ashari stepped back. You're really doing it. Will not fight with fear, I will fight with everything. He placed his hand on the vault. It scanned his skin. His blood, his past access granted the vault hissed, steam poured out inside a metal sphere, small, dark, sleeping. Shari looked at I said, alive enough. What is it called? Its name is judgment. The sphere rose, floated, scanned the room. Threat level high, human presence. Confirmed genetic error. Detected. The child stood. Sees me. It remembers what we made, what we feared. Rin gave the final command, defense mode only. No offense unless fired upon. Confirmed. The vault sank back. Judgment circled the child. Then Shari, then Rin. Protective sequence. Locked outside. The hunter ship moved again. No message. No voice, but now it was not alone. 2 more ships appeared. Then a 4th. Hari turned pale. It begins. Rin looked at her. Then at the child. Then back to the stars. Then we begin too. The stars moved fast, too fast for the eye. But the ship cut through them like a shadow in light. Rin sat at the helm, his hands gripping the control bar. Jaw tight, eyes forward. Shari stood beside him, her hand on the stasis cradle. The child inside rested in silence, but it was not sleep. It was something deeper, like a system reboot, like a mind preparing itself behind them. Judgment floated without sound, its metal shell pulsing with quiet code, always watching. Ahead of them, dead planet turned slowly cold, empty, but not forgotten. Breeding ground, Alpha, one of the first places where humanity broke itself. Not with bombs, not with wars, but with science. Shari stared at the planet, her voice barely above breath. Why here? Rin did not look at her, because this is where they tried to make gods, and maybe left behind the tools to fight monsters. The ship entered orbit. The surface below was covered in metal and ash. No trees, no cities, only rust and shadows. The landing was rough. The winds screamed like they remembered what happened here, like the ghosts were warning them. The moment the hatch opened, the cold touched their skin. But the cold was not from the air, it came from the walls, from the silence. They stepped out together. 3 figures, 1 human, 1 alien, 1 something else. The ground crunched under their feet. Old bones maybe, old machines for sure. They moved through broken gates, past old science test zone 4. Human genome integration projects, Hari whispered as they walked. Your kind did not create peace here. You created fear. Rin nodded. But fear is sometimes the only way to survive. They reached the main vault. The door still stood tall, silent, half buried. Rin scanned his wrist. Nothing happened. The child stepped forward, touched the door. Its skin glowed brighter. Welcome, genetic match detected. Access granted. The door opened inside. The air was heavy. Not dirty, but full, like it had been waiting. Lights flickered on soft blue. One by one, the walls showed images, blueprints. Diagrams of bodies, of organs, of creatures that looked almost human, but not quite. Shari turned away from one screen. Her voice low. They used alien wombs, stole DNA from conquered worlds, blended species, forced unity, called it evolution. Rin looked at a large pot in the center. It was empty, but the glass was cracked from the inside. Someone lived here, and someone escaped. The child moved to a console. Its fingers danced over keys. No training, just instinct. The screen lit up. Files opened. Audio logs. Played test 2119. Subject showed high aggression, unstable hybrid. Terminated test 2156. Subject showed adaptive growth. No identity escaped during breach. Rin listened. Each voice in the recordings sounded less human, more afraid, more tired. He turned to the child. Why do you know this system? The child answered without looking up. Because they made me from it, and made me to destroy it. But I do not want to destroy. I want to become. Shari touched the child's shoulder. Then we leave this place. Not yet. The child pointed to the far chamber. There is something alive still. They followed the sound. The hallway led them to a door, thicker than the others, scratched from the inside. They opened it. Inside, a body sat against the wall, not moving, but breathing. Its skin was gray, eyes glowing, weak arms scarred with test marks. Hari stepped forward. Is it human? Rin shook his head. Not fully. The being opened its eyes, looked at them, spoke with dry lips. You are the next one. Rin knelt. Who are you? I was the last one. Mate, I broke out, I ended them. But I could not leave. The air here is all I can breathe. You are a hybrid, yes. But I am not like the child, he is more. He is pure by choice, not by force. The child stepped closer. You feel pain, yes. You feel regret always then. You are like me, the hybrid nodded slowly. Take what you need, use what they left. But do not become what they were in. Help the being rest back. Then turn to the lab center there. In the main server, a code pulsed the last defense, the last weapon human. Technology able to infect hunter ships, melt their systems, blind their signals. But it came with a price. Once released, the signal would mark them. Every race would hear it. No humanity is alive again. Shari looked at him. If we use this, there is no. Hiding Rin looked at the child, then at the stars through a broken roof. Then let them see us. Asterisk. The signal was ready. Its code glowed in pulses, blue, then red. Then still, it waited like a question, a choice in the shape of light. Rin stared at the console. His finger hovered over the command key, his breath slow, but his mind fast. Shari stood behind him, her hands holding the child, its eyes wide open, watching, always watching. Hybrid from the vault sat nearby, still breathing, still hurting. Its voice weak but clear. You do not understand what this signal does. It is not just a weapon, it is a scream. Rin nodded without speaking, a scream that tells the galaxy. Humanity is alive, humanity remembers, and humanity is not afraid anymore. Shari stepped forward. But they will all hear it, the hunters, the collectors, the purifiers, even the ones who forgot we existed. Let them come. Rin's voice was not angry. It was calm like a mountain before a storm. The child walked to the console, placed its hand next to Rin's. Not to stop him, not to start it, only to share the moment. Then it turned to the others. Why did you build me? Why did you blend war and peace, fear and hope, love and survival? The hybrid in the corner answered, because we were afraid of extinction. Afraid of being forgotten, afraid that the stars would erase us. Fear creates monsters. The child's voice echoed softly in the cold lab. But I do not want to be a monster. I want to be something new, not just stronger, but kinder. Shari knelt beside the child. Then choose, not for us, not for them. Choose for you. The child stepped away from them all, walked to the edge of the broken wall, looked out at the sky, at the hunter ships in orbit, at the lights beyond the black. Then it raised its hand and called them. The signal did not scream. It sang a sound made of memory, of blood, of dreams. It flowed out from the lab into the stars, into the silence, and the stars listened above. The hunter ships began to move, not to attack, not to flee, but to turn. They turned. To face the signal, to trace it, to find the source. But they did not fire. The child was still standing, eyes glowing bright now, body shining like a sun held inside skin. Rin and Shari stood behind it, the hybrid too, all silent. Then a message came from the ships, not a demand, not a threat, but a question. What are youth? Child answered without fear. I am the line you tried to erase. I am the bridge you feared to cross. I am not your tool. I am not your prey. I am choice. The message paused, then returned. You are not like the others. You are not broken. You are not whole. You are dangerous. The child stepped forward, its voice calm, but strong. Then leave me be, or face what I could become. The hunters hesitated for the first time. Their signal shook like doubt. Entered their code. Then one by one, the ships vanished, faded into the dark. No fire, no missiles, no war, just space. Shari took the child's hand, tears in her eyes. You saved us without hate. You gave them a chance to choose. To Rin looked up at the stars, his past heavy, but his heart lighter than before. You are not just the future. You are the answer. The hybrid stood still, weak but proud. Then the choice is made. They left the lab behind, left the broken walls, the dead programs, the failed weapons. They walked together back into the light. The stars no longer felt cold. They felt curious, and somewhere in the silence, other eyes opened. Other minds began to wonder. Humanity had returned, not with guns, but with something more dangerous, hope. The signal moved faster than light, faster than thought. It crossed borders, passed through forgotten satellites, woke dead beacons, lit up long silent stations. Galaxy listened. The message was clear. Humanity was not gone. Humanity was not hiding. Humanity was choosing to rise on old trade routes, across cold asteroid belts, in deep bunkers, buried under ruined moons. Humans opened their eyes, picked up their tools, powered on their ships. They heard the voice of the child. They heard the courage. Behind it, they heard the hope, and they answered. Rin watched the reports, one by one, blips of light, signals of life, old allies, old outlaws, forgotten colonies. They all called back. Reedy Shari stood beside him, the child in her arms, calm, silent, but shining with quiet power. It begins now. Rin looked at her, then at the screen, then at the stars. It began the moment he chose not to be afraid. Judgment floated nearby, its scanners glowing brighter. New data flowed through its shell, new targets, new threats, new chances, but it did not speak of war. Not yet. The hunter ships returned, not 3, not 5 dozens. Forming a black wall in orbit, they sent a single message: you were warned. Rin replied with only 3 words: you were watched. Then the sky cracked. Old human warships decloaked from asteroid fields, massive vessels from the Titan fleets, rusty, scorched, but alive. They had waited for this, trained in silence, hidden in shadows. Now they moved with fury. The first strike was not human, it was from the child. A wave of energy, not fire, not explosion, but disruption. The kind that breaks code, shakes systems, melts clean logic into chaos. The first hunter ship spun, its engines lost, its aim twisted. Then came the human fire cannons, blasters, EMP bursts, old weapons. Built from rage, new tech powered by purpose. The hunters fought back, precise, deadly. But something had changed. They feared now. The child walked to the center deck, watched the battle like an old soul, eyes glowing, heart steady. Shari whispered behind it, you gave them fire, but you carry light. The child spoke without turning. I do not want to win. I want to stop the game. Rin opened the link, sent the message to every human ship, every fighter, every captain, every survivor. Protect the child. Protect the future. Do not let hate lead us. The humans listened. The battle changed. They did not chase the broken ships, did not crush the fleeing ones. They fought to defend, not to destroy. One by one, hunter ships fell back, not all but most, and those who stayed began to ask questions. Who are you? What are you? Why do you not kill us all? The child replied, because I do not need to, because strength is not fear, because I am human, but I am also something more. The last hunter ship turned its signal, faint, almost like a whisper. We will return. Rin sent one back. We will be ready, but we will also be better. Silence returned, but it was a new silence, filled with watchers, filled with eyes across stars. The galaxy now knew Earth lived. Humanity breathed, not as monsters, not as ghosts, but as something stronger. Hope with hands, warriors with hearts. Hari turned to Rin, her voice soft but strong. What now? We rebuild. We reconnect, we remember. And the child, Rin looked at it. It smiled, not like a weapon, not like a god, like a soul, free, awake, new. Spoke, I will learn, I will guide, I will not rule. I am not your leader, I am your beginning. Rin stood at the edge of the bridge, looked at the stars, then back at the crew, humans and aliens, fighters and builders. He raised his voice. We were silent too long, afraid too long, divided too long. Let the stars know, let every world hear it. We are not hiding anymore. We are not broken. We are not alone. We are human, and we are back.